Live from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studios and the Gurkha Cigar Studios in the great state of New Hampshire. Welcome to the Smokin Tabacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Pat Chamberlain.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com, and I'm joined once again by my co-host and colleague, Mr. Pat Chamberlain. Patrick, how are ya? Can't hear you. Hold on. Can no one hear me?
No, I'm muted.
You fucking bitch. Just kidding. What's up?
Same old shit. Different week.
Tell me about it. Isn't that the truth? Well, I'm a little bit refreshed. I recently got back from the Dominican Republic, which while I was not allowed to do any cigar business because it was quality time with my wife, which was really a fantastic time. We had such a blast together. I did manage to do some cigaring in some aspects. More so in what I bought. And when I get into what I bought, I already know like there's gonna be someone who's gonna have pushback on it. But I'll get into that in a minute. It's been it'll probably turn into a whole topic in itself. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back in the U.S. of A. As beautiful as it is down there and relaxing as it is, it's always nice to come home. Yes, kind of. Back to reality. But definitely nice. Got a little bit of a tan. Not as much as I'd like. I know a lot of people online have commented before on the lightness that my skin has become the last few years. So I really tried to crisp up a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. We were in the sun almost every day. I hit the sunblock, only SPF 30. I kept it light, I think. I don't know how low it goes. Got a little burned, but not too burned. Not where I was uncomfortable, and it ruined my day. But I have a small glow, as they say. But no, it was a good time. I ate a lot. I slept. I ate. I swam. That's pretty much it, among other things. That's neither here nor there. But it was good. While I was away, Pat was working. So sorry, but keeping those streets clean. So the unsung heroes. Anything new to report, Pat? Any new beefs this week? You got anything? Anything grinding you up?
No, it's been a pretty typical week. Nothing new to report.
Are you smoking a Tatuaje Corojo T110? OMG.
I am.
That reminds me, I gotta call fucking Jay. Because Jay told me he had those. Hey Siri, text Jay Davis. I forgot to ask you about your Tatuaje T110s. Look at that, right on the air. Everybody knows, about my love of Jay and being my Tatuaje supplier. But for everything else, only because they don't carry Tatuaje, but they carry everything else, and that is our friends at the number 2 guyscigars.com. That's right, the number 2 guyscigars.com. Head over there today for an amazing selection of cigars and accessories from brands you know and love, and maybe a few new ones that you haven't quite discovered yet. Discover them now and order today at the number 2 guyscigars.com. Yeah, that's a great cigar. Debuted at the show. I smoked it. Phenomenal. I've really been into the Corojo blends or iterations of blends, and lines, except however you want to say it. That Pete's been doing with Tatuaje. I think I've smoked just about every one of the Corojos that he's done to date. I think I have, yeah. And honestly, they've all really been fantastic, and I've really been he went through the Tuxtla with the San Andreas. Now he's doing a lot of Corojos. I really, really, really like the Corojos. I really like, and I've told him this. I really, really, really like what he's doing with the Corojo. I think it's fantastic. If you're a Tatuaje fan, you probably already know, but if you haven't, really give them a shot. Even if like Corojo's not something you would normally smoke, whatever, please just try him anyway. I mean, he's done a really fantastic job. I actually haven't really lit up a full cigar yet. I've been smoking on this cigarillo while I was chilling out. Excuse me. Because I brought back some cigarillos from an island that was not the Dominican Republic. If you know, you know. So I was enjoying a few of those, but I think I'm gonna have a Don Pepin Garcia Cuban Classic. Cuban Classic. It's a great cigar, and I'm gonna cut it and light it with none other than one of my favorite products. That's right. ST Dupont shakes up the legacy here at Smokin Tabacco, using my ST Dupont cutter and lighting with my Smokin Tabacco 2024 accessory of the year, ST Dupont Biggie lighter. That's right, with the flat flame lighter. Beautiful design, comfortable in the hand, fantastic even light. It's the closest thing to a soft flame that you'll get in a torch lighter. It's perfect. It's even. I can't say enough about it. It's the reason why they won. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic lighter. Ask your local retailer today if they're shaking up the legacy with ST Dupont. And available now in the new Fender edition. Especially if you're a guitar player or you're into guitars and you own a Fender. Come on, I don't have to sell you on this. You should just do it. The Fender collection is fantastic. Real Pat. One of the things I was going to bring up on the show tonight, because we talk about it all the time, but I don't go out of my way. I don't go out of my way for this variety of cigar. Not that I can't. I just don't.
Live from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studios and the Gurkha Cigar Studios.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. But while I was in the Dominican Republic, I did encounter some cigars from Cuba. And, and I'm no stranger to them. So I said, it's been a while. I'll grab some. And I was able to find some Cohiba, some Vigueros, Hoy de Monterrey, and there was also... I didn't buy the punch, but there was one box of punch there that I wish I bought now. And I have to say, mostly pretty good. The Cohibas, I smoked a Siglo 6 and a Maduro 5 Genios. Both were surprisingly good. They can be very hit or miss. And it's been a while since I had those, especially, in those sizes. They burned pretty good. They weren't tight. Thank God. Flavor was there. Complexity was there. They were, everything that, you'd want them to be was good. Construction, it burned they both burned well enough. Uneven, but they burned well enough. They drew well enough, but you could tell physically, the quality of the tobaccos is definitely lower than even some entry-level stuff that we have here. I mean, the wrapper, it wasn't dog shit, but for what they're getting for Siglo 6 today, what can I say? They were all right. They weren't the worst, but they definitely, they're not what you'd really hope that they would be. They were a little rough. I'd say they were a little bit lower, visibly in quality, but flavor-wise, there was plenty of flavor there, which was good. And I didn't have any major issues with them. Would they have scored well? They probably would have scored average. I know Coop recently smoked some of them when he was in Italy last year and kind of felt the same way. Like, it was good, but it wasn't wow. They were good Cubans. They were everything you'd at least want them to be, love them to be. Not so much, but they were good and they were smokable. it's been 50-50 with them the last, several years, especially. I still have like half a box of some Partagas Toros that I think the series number 2, series number 5. Half of them, fantastic. They're great. The other half, not even finishable. So, it is what it is. You can't take the quality control that the brands that you're used to seeing and smoking every day, have. Draw testing and, just better overall quality. People take that for granted sometimes, I think, and don't forget about that. This Cuban Classic has a nicer wrapper than the Siglo 6 did. I mean, I think I have some pictures. I can share them, but I also grabbed some of the clubs, the little guys, which are right here. Fantastic. Just for fun. But, cigar-wise, that was it. It was very minimal. Other than the fact that I smoked on the balcony in my room every night because it was so nice. I kept all the other cigars. Everyone's like, oh, who are you visiting? Who are you going to see? I'm like, I'm not here to see anybody. It's just a vacation. And I had a great time. I ate plenty. I definitely got my money's worth out of that resort. So, yeah. That's cigar-wise. Alcohol-wise, didn't drink too much. I will say, though, I have discovered, although a lot of other people probably already know this, but it was new for me, so I was, like, huh. They definitely use lower proof or they water down the liquor at the pool. And I'm going to tell you why. I mean, I can hold my liquor well enough, I'm not a booze bag, but I'm also not a lightweight, But by the second day, I was like, I haven't really, had a good, tipsy, not drunk, but, you really having a good time day. I'm like, I gotta, pick up the pace here. I gotta, we were in the pool, and I went over to the bar, and nobody tips them down there, which I think is a disgrace, because the quality of service that you get from the people of the Dominican Republic is unlike anything you'll ever see here, even in the nicest of places here. It is extraordinary. I think that if you haven't experienced the level of quality of personal service in the Dominican Republic, you need to go just for that. It'll change your life. Those people are amazing. They're so grateful. You give them $5 and they act like, you just gave them $1 million and they're so grateful, but they really earn it. And so there was a bartender. I said, I'm going to take care of this guy. And I just kept feeding him tips and I was like, just keep the liquor coming. And this dude probably brought me over. We were drinking mixed drinks, but I was like, let's do some shots. And so in the spirit of the Dominican Republic, I said, let's drink Brugal. So I said, I'll do some shots of Brugal. He's like, yeah, no problem. He starts bringing them over, and I think I probably got literally, and Nicole can verify this, there's no exaggeration. I was probably 4, mixed, frozen drinks in, and I got to about 6 straight shots of Brugal rum. And she's like, oh, I'm kind of feeling it. And I'm like, I feel nothing. I feel like I'm at a sober party right now. And she's like, you got to be shitting me. I'm like, no. I feel like I'm stone cold sober. She's like, there's no way. I'm like, it's been 2 hours, and I've been pounding the booze. Legit, straight up. I feel nothing. And I barely even ate that day. I said, I'm going back to the bar. I went back to the bar, and I had 3 more shots. Nothing. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. What are we doing down here? Is there something wrong with me? All of a sudden, am I a superhuman person? I don't. And she's like, I mean, I'm not really trashed either. And it doesn't take much for Nicole to get the littlest bit drunk. And I mean, she drank a good amount too. So then I said, all right, we were done in the pool for the day. I went up to my room and I bought several bottles of Havana Club at duty free on the way in. I said, I'm opening one of these bottles. This is dumb. I had 1 glass of Havana Club. Whew. That was it. And I was like, Jesus. I felt like shit for the next few hours. But then I rebounded, and I hit the buffet. And then I felt great. And that was my Saturday. No. Yeah, that was my Saturday. That was Saturday. So, yeah. That's all I got, really, for interesting. Oh, actually, I do have an interesting story of something that I oversaw, but I don't know if Nicole would appreciate if I shared it on the air. But I definitely, I definitely saw some interesting things on the balcony at nighttime. There was a lot going on in the rooms below. Catch my drift. I didn't know that I was going to get a cigar on a show. And neither did the woman 3 rooms down who also came out to eat her ice cream, who was like, And I'm like looking at her like, I know. So yeah, all in all, it was a good trip. We had fun. And we're relaxed. How was your Labor Day weekend?
It's sat down, I smoked, and I golfed a little bit, and that's about it.
Oh, did you?
Typical.
Where'd you go?
So I'm getting lessons now because I have
Cool.
time again. So I'm kind of trying to lock it in. So I just went to the indoor sim in Londonderry. That's it. I'm going out to
I think I heard about
Manchester to
that.
golf on Friday.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're doing lessons at a sim.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of what everyone does now. I mean, there's some pros that'll go out on the greens, but I think most people, it's rare to find like an outdoor lesson pro. At least
Yeah.
in New England. I'm sure if you go down south, because there's no winter there. So, but here everyone's getting sims now because half your season you can't make money. So naturally, it's just easier for the upkeep and like learning on a sim's not bad. I just hate using a sim, hitting like hard turf, and then going out and taking a real divot. It's a little bit of an adjustment,
Mm.
um, but yeah, that's all I did. Just relaxed.
Oh, and I wasn't knocking the sim either. I've used some of those sims. They're fucking
Oh
awesome.
no, they're good. I would rather be, outside striking the ground, but
Smoking a
it's
cigar.
well, yeah, that's a plus to it too. But it's it's good for like practice, I guess. Like, if you appreciate that, if you take too big of a divot in a sim, you're not going to get punished for it because it's just going to make your ball go further because you don't actually divot hard turf. So if you appreciate that, then it's good. But I think some people, and I've fallen victim to it, you strike the ground hard, the ball goes extremely far. But in real life, if you were outside, you did that, you'd probably take like a gopher hole out of the ground, and the ball would have went 5 feet. So
Yeah, I haven't played in a while. The last couple of years have been, I've had a lot of other priorities. Like being here for all of you. But I do miss it. I love playing golf. I'm definitely shit and rusty now, but I every year I'm like, this is the year I'm gonna get back into it, and then something comes up. But I love to play, and I have played some of the Sims, and they are and some and I think they're all kind of different, obviously, but there's been a few I've played, and I'm like, well, this is actually like for what it is. I'm like, I actually had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, yeah, I like being out on the course too, but yeah, I think there's room for everybody. That's the way I look at it. I'm sure there's some hardcore golf people out there like, how dare they ruin the game? But um, I don't agree with that. But no, I mean it's relaxing. You get out there, especially if you don't go out with like the boys who just want to like get shit faced and fuck around all day. Like when I go, like I like to actually go and like play the game, and it's nice. You get out there, it's quiet. Um, I like to play 18 if I can. I know it's a long day, but I like to take advantage of it and try to commit to it. Like I'm gonna do the whole 18, and just enjoy the whole day. Although back in the day, I used to do just 9 in the afternoon because the course near the house growing up, they did the Twilight special. So like you paid a smaller fee. Actually no, I think you paid the regular 9, but you could play as much as you could get in before dark. So I'd try to get there like right. I think it was like 4 p.m. They would start, and I'd get there like right at 4 and be like, I want to do that, and then I'd usually get to about 12 or 13 holes, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm done. But it was good. It was good. I miss those days. It's always fun to get out there and golf. I didn't know you were so into golf too.
Yeah.
See,
I'm into
you got to get good so that when I finally have time to like get back into the swing of things, you can help me get better again, and then we can be like a dynamic duo. Does your dad play?
it. Yeah, he plays. I
Oh, that's
usually
good.
golf with him to go out.
That's good. My dad surprisingly, like my dad was never like really into it. Like he loves it, but he was never like just like a golfer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have his own clubs. Um, wears boat shoes when he goes golfing. But I will say he is a fucking natural. Like when I tell you, like he's played with some, like we've gone out before with like people who play, and people have been impressed. They're like, Steve, I didn't know like you hit the links. He's like, I don't. He loves it and he's good at it. Like I mean, he's not a PGA player, but I mean he's better than he's better than a lot of other casual kickers I've seen. And he only goes like once in a while, and he gets out there and he creams the ball all the way down the fairway. He's pretty good at it, and he shoots, for what he is, he shoots pretty well. So, yeah, I used to go play with him when I was younger when I would play. So, yeah, it's always a good time. It's always a good time. I gotta get out there. I gotta find a couple of weekends when like I can actually like take a break from everything and just go. Even if I go by myself, sometimes I like to go by myself because you can just get out there and just enjoy the peace. Thinking about it now, I'm getting all excited. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was golfing. Which is the other thing too is when we pulled into the resort down there. I see all the golf courses in Cap Cana, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot all about that. I wish I like brought my golf stuff, and Nicole's like, "Oh, you could still go." I'm like, "I'm not gonna leave you to go golfing. We're only here for like 4 days." But like, man, I'm like the thought of it. I was like, that would have been sweet. In the Dominican, so much fun. I always forget about golf. But golf is great. It really is. It's delightful. Um, let's see. Cigar talk. Well, it's getting to that point in the year where we're not at the end of the year. We're not quite at like the pre-end of the year festivities either. It is officially September, so we're getting in almost into the fall. It's not quite fall yet. New England people out there. Some people like it's September 1st. Summer's over. Summer has like 2.5 more weeks, so slow down. Technically, but we are getting into the fall, and as we creep closer and closer into the fall, we get into October, end of October. We get to the deadline, and we start preparing for awards and end of the year festivities and all of that, as well as all the holiday limited edition releases that we'll probably start seeing announced probably in the beginning of October. That are coming out for the holidays. But we are kind of seeing, I think, for the most part, we're going to start in the next 30 days. You'll see probably most of the last of the trade show like releases that haven't gone out yet. You'll probably see them go out in the next 30 days or so if they haven't come out already. And then after that, it'll be end of the year, holiday releases, special, all that nonsense that'll be coming out. Which General always has a bunch. Saka has the holiday 2025 Stillwell Star that he comes out with, and then I also think 10th Jubilee is coming out like October November-ish, if I remember correctly. Because I know it's not out yet. In fact, I think most of his stuff's not out yet.
For Tanga, it shipped and was received last week. That's the only one. I think I've seen some people with the bronze back Robusto. I haven't seen it in New Hampshire yet, though, but I've seen.
I don't think it's officially out there, but I think there's some people have their hands on it. 10th Jubilee, the bronze back Robusto. For Tanga, you said shipped. I'm trying to remember them all. The big Mickey Rita with the Bellicoso bullet tip there that he did, the big ring gauge one. I don't think did that go out yet. I don't think that did either.
No, the only recent Saka Tanga. I haven't. There's nothing else like those variety packs that he's coming out with. Those aren't out yet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those too. The samplers. Yeah, those are not out.
Nothing out yet other than the since the trade show. I mean, yeah, it's just the Fratanga. There's nothing. I thought the bronze back Robusto would be out by now, but it's not. Um, and that's really it for the. Oh well, nah, because the Solito Red really wasn't a PCA release. It was
No, that came out before the show. It's new this year, but it's not a PCA release. Yeah.
It was kind of behind in my opinion, but maybe this is when it was supposed to show. I don't know. I wasn't at the trade show, so I didn't really pay attention to release dates. But I thought most of it would be out by now, but it's not. So
No, if I remember correctly, I believe it was like September, October is what he said for most of it. So that's why I'm thinking between like now and middle of October, maybe end of, let's just call it end of October. Before November, I think you'll see a handful of Steve's stuff hit the shelves. Arturo Fuente still has a bunch of stuff that they showed off that no one has seen yet. Which the difference with them is they're not even going to tell you an estimated time. Someone may verbally be like, "Oh, I'm thinking like October," but like an official, like we expect to ship these, no, that really doesn't exist with them. And they had a lot of stuff that they showed out because I don't think really any of it has shipped out yet. I'm trying to make sure. No, I haven't seen. No, I don't think any of it's gone out yet. So all that has to come out at some point still. Although I did see, I think they posted the little promo video for the Sangritoro, which usually when they do stuff like that whatever product that is, they it starts it goes out to stores like the week after. It's like, oh, look what we got. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So maybe that's coming soon. I mean, September, so I don't see them dropping all of that just at the holidays, and that's even if all of it even makes it this year. With Fuente, I mean, who knows? I mean, we still might not see some of that for another year, maybe two. Look at Fuente Padron Legends. So we'll see, but I imagine something, at least one or two things from that show will show itself this year. I hope. Trying to think of who else hasn't really shipped anything. Most people, I think, with their big ticket items, like Placencia shipped. I think just about all of the Tatuaje has shipped. My father sent all three of theirs out already. Perdomo Legacy is out there already. All the variations and all that. Those are all out.
Foundation is shipping right now as well.
Who?
Foundation.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Foundation is shipping. Yep. I think Matt Booth's Room 101, he had the humidors with all the anniversaries, and then he had the 10th anniversary of the Johnny Tobacconaut. The humidors already went out. The Tobacconaut was delayed because of the AJ fire, but I'm pretty sure I just saw that those were going out. I don't bet your life on it, but I'm pretty sure I saw something that they were going. So I think those are going out, which would take care of that. Oliva didn't really have anything new. I think all the Altadis stuff is out. The general stuff's been flowing consistently. Drew Estate had the Dominicana, that went out. They just unveiled last week at their Freestyle Live. They unveiled the Nica Rustica Connecticut, which that'll be hitting stores right away. That only leaves Davidoff, who really didn't have anything too new. No, I think whatever Davidoff had is out there. That's the big four. I'm trying to think. Most of DuPont's new stuff is out. The Drew Estate collection is out. The Fender's out. The Superman is out. The only thing that's not out is the Fuente Opus X collection. That I know specifically is expected November. So that we still have a little bit of a wait for. Yeah, I think the majority of it's out there. There's some gems left, but the majority of it's out. So, and I'm trying to think like because we smoked that, we smoked this, we had that. So most of it's out. So which is good. At this point in the year. So that's good. Now, as we continue to go through it and smoke it and all that, we'll get more and more into specifics. As we've already said a bunch of times this year, throughout the year, as we've been on the show and been smoking stuff, there are a lot of good releases this year. And Pat, as you continue to watch things come into the humidor and you smoke them, and because I know you didn't get to try everything that was at the show, I think I'm pretty caught up with the new releases. There's a few I maybe want to re-smoke to refresh my memory, but for the most part, I think I got most of it down so far. But lately, in the last few weeks, I know that you've probably smoked some new things that have just been released. Have you smoked anything else that's really been like wow on the radar, or has it been kind of average lately?
I mean, I smoked, well, as of today, all the new cat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
all the Corojo stuff came in, twins, these past few days, so I had the Cohites before the show. I'm having the T110 now. I have the Avion I have later. I mean, the knockout of the year so far is the 898 Tat, I think, in my opinion. The Wise Man Lanceros came out. I smoked both of those. Those were good. The Natural was kind of boring, I'll be honest with you. The Maduro was good.
You said the natural was boring.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's not like right for me to say, but it wasn't. The Maduro's the one to smoke. The Natural was okay. It didn't blow me away. The Fratanga came out. I smoked it post trade show. The ones that just received, I think, need to sit. I don't know what the shipping conditions are, but the burn wasn't great. I think it's just over humidified just from the shipping process. The Encore Black, they made that size. I forget it's like that Perfecto size. There's a name for it. I can't
Oh
take.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I had one of those. I think the Robusto that's been out, I think, is better in my opinion. But that's again, it's worth trying. It wasn't a bad cigar. It was good. What else came out? I mean, I've been smoking so many of the cigars when they come in. It's almost like you kind of forget.
Oh,
I
I
mean, I've
know.
had Rustica, Connecticut, like in the Freestyle Live. That was one of my two guesses what it was going to be. Which, well, actually, I think I nailed what it was because I said Dominican Tobacco, and I think it was going to be a Nica Rustica, Connecticut. So, and there's Dominican in the filler, so I kind of hit it right. It's a good cigar. I think the last thing Drew Estate needed was another Connecticut, but fuck me. So that's the thing, man.
Okay. That was a little aggressive.
Like,
I don't think it's fuck you.
well,
I mean,
there's been a lot of like mild coming out of Drew Estate. Like even like without factoring the sweets in, like the Nica Rustica Habano came out, the 20 Acre Farm Connecticut came out. I mean, and like the Dominicana is like a Connecticut. It's sweetened, but the blackened Connecticut came out.
the
And now
Shade
we have
84.
Connecticut. Yeah, so a lot of Connecticut from Drew Estate, which I mean they've all been good cigars, so it's not a knock at them. And they're not just like they're all different kinds of Connecticut. It's not like your typical like they're all just not like your smooth mild Connecticut. Like the 20 Acre is unique, it has that Florida sun grown. The blackened Connecticut is kind of like that more of a medium bodied Connecticut.
Right.
The Nica Rustica is going to be more of a traditional Connecticut. It's very smooth. Um, and then the Dominican is obviously sweet tipped Connecticut. So I mean they've all been like in a different category of Connecticut, but coming off of the Blackened and the Underground 10 being released, you kind of like you're kind of waiting if you're that kind of a smoker for another, fuller bodied option. Obviously, like they've had like Liga releases, like the Liga 10's still not really that old. The H99 is still fairly new comparatively to the market. They're adding new sizes to the H99. So I mean, there is full bodied stuff coming out, but as a core line, I'm kind of waiting for another full bodied core line to come out of Drew Estate. I mean, the Undercrown 10 to me was a knockout cigar. So I'm waiting to see what the follow-up is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else is coming. I'm sure there's other cigars I've smoked that have come out that I'm just not, remembering right now. But it's been a good year. I haven't had anything so far that I was like, it's just, oh, this is a bad cigar. I haven't had a bad one from the new ones that came out. In the past, I won't name cigars, but there's been new ones that have been like, all right, I don't know what they were thinking with this one. But
23 and 24 were tough. I mean, there was a lot of mediocrity that went on.
So it's, I think it's a good year for cigars. I mean, if I had to pick a favorite one right now, it's tough. I mean, the Tat A98 was really memorable to me.
Yep.
The Fratanga, when I had it after the show, was really good, but I've had 3 out of the new shipment, and they're not quite at that point.
The which one?
Fratanga, Sakas.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay.
So post-trade show sample was actually better than the shipment, but again, like it was the shipping for that cigar was held back, and it's on containers, and I smoke stuff once it comes in, so I know that's not the way to do it, and I do it because I smoke it again. I don't just do a one and done. I like to see how it is out of the box. So if people ask me like, "Oh, should I try this now?" I can give an honest opinion. But yeah, I mean, the only thing on the radar now that I know is shipping that I haven't had yet is the new La Bomba warheads, which
those just shipped, as well as the re-releases that they did of like I want to say like 3 and 11, or no 3 and 6.
I actually was at Twins today and I missed it. No one told me that they were in. I think they came in right after I left. And then Nick Murillo's 10-year. I'm looking forward. I think
the Foundation 10th. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be in the top 3, just because it kind of like the blend sounds similar to the Night Commander, and I think the Night Commander is easily in my top 3 cigars. So if it's anything like that cigar, it's going to be a really good cigar.
Yeah, I hope that. There's definitely been a lot of excitement on that. I know that it was affected by the AJ Fernandez fire, but I want to say, if I remember correctly, because it's always a lot to remember, I believe Nick said it was mostly the packaging that was destroyed. I'm not 100% positive, but I want to say it was most on that. It was most of the packaging. But my concern was like, oh no, like they lost them. They gotta like, re-roll and age them and all that, and kind of like get caught up to speed. You wonder, not that they want to cut corners or anything, but do they rush to like make up the lost ground? And I'm like, oh no, I'd hate to see something throw off such a big launch. But I think the tobacco was fine. I believe it was just the boxes. So hopefully that's all that was, and those cigars just got maybe extra rest. So, which if that's the case, I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be perfect right out of the box when they do finally land.
Yeah. So overall, I think it's a good year. It's going to be competitive, especially the top 3 slots this year. It's going to be really competitive. I think it's going to be a year. I think like every top 25 list has a different spread for the top 3. I think like the top 5 is going to be really close with everyone. And I think the top 3 is going to be across the board. It's going to be just skewed everywhere because there's a lot of competitors, I think, this year, unlike the other years.
The thing that I started to kind of notice last year when, reviewing all the lists and all that is, people the lists are all kind of different. Um, you know, for example, all the magazines, Us, Cigar Coop, Half Wheel, um, trying to think who else I'm missing that I know for sure. I think Boston Jimmy does a 25. We all do just like a straight top 25. Dojo, I believe, does like a standard 25, but they also do like top 25 premium, top 25 like boutique, or I think like they do multiple categories. I can't remember them all, so don't quote me. But they do like multiple categories of like lists, which is interesting actually because you kind of can compare a little bit more specifically, which I love and respect it. I just don't know if I have as much time to make so many lists. But that's not a knock on them either. I actually looked at I did like that concept, but they do like multiple lists. And then like the guys that help on that cigar and like some of the other podcast shows, um, a lot of them do just do like a top 10. And I've noticed with a lot of them, it's been a lot of almost strictly boutique brands on those lists. Nothing that I didn't really know. A few that I was a little foggy on, but like I really knew them. But like there was no mainstream brands, no big name brands, no legacy brands. It was all just like at least somewhat newer um, boutique brands on a lot of those lists as well. Which not knocking them. Everybody has their own style. But I find it interesting. So when you say that, I find it interesting because I think that there is a handful of cigars that you're going to see, obviously, on multiple lists and probably somewhat, if not high, on lists. But I'm curious to see because there are a lot of great cigars this year, and we haven't had that in a few years. And with the variety of lists, but also the somewhat diversity of some of the lists, I am curious to see how some of these all really like fully shake out. Um, I putting the list together is always a lot of work, and it is what it is. But once it's done and it's out there, I actually enjoy like waiting to see everyone post their thing because I'm just genuinely curious because there's no really right or wrong answer to like when you look at these lists. It's all interpretation based on who created it. So we do ours how we do it on what we liked and this and that and how we rank them all. Everyone else kind of does their own thing. So, but either way, regardless, it's interesting to be like, oh, like what did they think of this and like where'd this land? Then sometimes you see stuff and you're like, really? They really liked that, or like, oh, I'm surprised that's so low, like, or they didn't make the list because like that was really popular. It was already on 3 other lists. They didn't even have it. I'm shocked. So it is fun. And I think this year, my point that I'm really getting to is it's going to be a lot more fun watching all the lists, like, debut this year and, get released. Because I think that it will be more competitive. So it'll be tough for us to put the list together, but then it'll be enjoyable to watch them all, shake out. So, but it'll be here before we know it. Which CP Hunt asked, question, thoughts on Perdomo Legacy and My Father Blue? Both of them are high on my list. Not the official list, but my mental list going into making the official list. I really, really, I've smoked all of them, and I really like them. I've heard some unfavorable, I think is the word I'm going to use, feedback on the My Father Blue. I'm going to say that because it's out there. I won't call people up by name, but there's people out in the media from my peeps at MF that, it wasn't so favorable. But I like it. I'm still sticking to my guns on it. I think it's going to bloom in other people's minds, and it'll hit its spot. But I really like that. And obviously, Perdomo Legacy, just flawless. So definitely going to be tough to narrow those down on the list. I'm like, like, what's a Fratello? And then I'm like, oh, it's a Fratello. Stupid me. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for sure. And there's still more to come out and, to get through and try and smoke and all that. So we're not really out of the woods yet, and we're not close to making the list. It's still very early, but as we get closer and closer, we do have more at our disposal to, kind of start thinking about, I guess. And there's already there's plenty of good stuff. So I'm really excited. Pat, why don't we get into some trivia? Break it up.
Alrighty.
Sorry, not to just like fully pivot on you right there, but then I looked at the time and I was like, oh shit. Which, Pat, while you do that, oh, you know what? I didn't grab those. Never mind. I'm going to say that for another time. Also, I do have confirmation. There is not a spare notes this weekend as Coop is still in the Dominican Republic. Oh, look, I have another one. Look at that. Grow, 2-10. Cellophane. That's how you know it's a show sample. Pete doesn't really cellophane those. Yeah, no spare notes this weekend. But next week, we do have, pretty sure it's next week, Pedro Gomez from Drew Estate will be joining us on the show, which is going to be a great time. Anytime we do anything with Drew Estate on the show, it's always a good time. Week after that, we have Wayne Clark from PDR, who is going to be coming on the show. Haven't seen Wayne in a while. And we have some other spots that we're doing final confirmation on. But on October 15th, the man himself, Steve Saka, will be back on the show. And it has been a long time since Steve has... Well, I wouldn't say long time, but it's been a minute since Steve's been on the show. So it's going to be a long night because it's Steve. And there'll be a lot to talk about. And I'm sure Pat will have a million questions for him. And I'm hoping to start a petition to get Pat to do the Steve Saka character with Steve the entire show. If he does, he will be greatly rewarded, especially if Saka doesn't kill him. But greatly rewarded nonetheless. That's what I'm hoping for, is that he comes and says, hello, I'm Steve Saka from Dunbar and Tobacco and Trust. And then Pat's like, my name is Pat Chamberlain. And you just do the whole thing the whole time. That would be like, and just like talking to him, be like, so Steve, as you know, we are really never satisfied with the plan. I don't know if I've ever said that. I believe you had, just to watch it go back and forth. I wouldn't have to do anything. I would just sit here and watch. I'm just front row of the show, Just let you and Steve do your thing. Oh, man. I'm getting excited thinking about it. So if you want to see that, get a petition. We got to get a petition going. And if we get like 100 names to sign it, Pat's got to do it. He will be compensated, but he's got to do it. Full frontal, all the way, beginning to end. Anyway, that's my real sales pitch for the show tonight. Getting Pat to do the Steve for the whole show. But what do you got for trivia?
We're going to do a little random. We're going to go all over the categories here.
Oh, Jesus.
First one is an easy one if you know it. Like all of them. But
that's so like... It's easy if you know it. It's like you can say...
You either know it or you don't know it. It's one of those things. If you don't know it, you're not going to guess, I guess.
Yeah.
What is the only mammal capable of true flight?
Oh, mammal of true flight. What birds are mammals? True flight. Mammals. Technically not a bird, I guess. True flight. I feel like I know this one. This is one of those where, like, at some point in your life, you know the answer, like, back of your hand. I don't know why. This is a stupid answer. But it's the only thing that keeps popping up in my brain right now. A penguin. Because it isn't a penguin.
Can fly.
They can't? Oh, yeah, that's right. What am I
What's the
thinking?
whole thing? Happy Feet, dude.
I don't fucking know. I didn't watch that movie. I don't know. What is it?
You giving up?
Yeah, I'm giving up. What is it?
A bat.
Oh, fuck, that's right. Those are mammals. I hate these. I start overthinking it too much. All right, what's the next one?
This one.
And I had a bat problem last year. I knew a lot about bats. I knew more about bats than I wanted to know. Ugh. Anyway.
Not the Deadly Needles, though.
No, I fucked that up.
All right, this one you might be able to get. What was the first $1 billion movie?
The first $1 billion movie. Ooh. The first billion. At first I said it wasn't that long ago, but in reality it's becoming kind of that long ago. Because I want to say it was in the 90s. I want to say a movie didn't hit $1 billion until the 90s. And I'm thinking about the biggest releases of the 90s, and there's a handful of them. Single movie, not franchise, like just with the one release, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
One movie.
I had to clarify because you'll be like, well, the franchise. No, like the one movie, like, was it Titanic?
It was Titanic.
Was it? Yeah. I see. For me, it was like it's either Titanic, the first Matrix movie, because I know the Matrix movies did like a few billion. But then I'm like, no, I actually don't think the first one cracked $1 million. I think the second one just about did. I knew Titanic, I'm pretty sure, was $1 billion. And yeah, that was the first $1 billion. Although it's amazing how many movies hit $1 billion now. Like, oh yeah, that one hit $1 billion too. It's like, what? Kafka movie.
If you know history, this one should be easy.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first city to reach a population of 1 million?
New York.
No.
Really? Was it Boston?
So city, like historically city, like not just like United States history.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I was thinking U.S. So just in general, what was the first one to hit $1 million? Oh fuck. London?
No.
Really?
Even that's like you gotta go way back in history.
Like way back? I'm like, how far back are we going? I figured. I mean, the British have been around a long time. Okay, so something's telling me it's either in Asia or it's in the Middle East. How far back are we talking? Like, further than that. I'm like, how far back are we going?
this place is like probably one of the most like known people in history. I don't know how to say it without giving it.
No, what'd you say? It's like the most what in history?
This place is known for like
one of the most famous people.
A lot of like human accomplishments. Like
human accomplishments?
It's like the start of like modern civilization.
I don't fucking know.
You're gonna think
like when like where Jesus was born?
Where was Jesus born?
In Jerusalem? Right?
Oh. You're like
I don't know. We weren't religious growing up. I don't know. I don't know these things.
It's not religious. I mean, I can give you a hint if you want.
Yeah, give me a hint.
It's very prevalent in Greek mythology.
Oh, Athens?
Actually, you're borderlining it now. I mean, you're in the right realm of.
I mean, it's in Greece now. You gave that away. If it's not Athens, then what other fucking cities in Greece? I don't know.
Was at the same time.
I don't know. What was it?
Rome.
Oh, Rome. I don't know why I would have. Huh. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not on my game tonight, Pat.
No,
I'm
we're
either great at this game or I suck. That's the only thing about the trivia. This was like one show where I was like split down the middle. Either I flop or like I crush him.
You got Titanic.
Yeah, I got that one. But that's because I know pop culture shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's because when I was growing up, I didn't give a shit about school. That's why I sit here and do this like an asshat. I watch TV and, like, play video games and shit. Like, I know that stuff. That's always been, like, my easiest one. But yeah, history. I like history now as an adult. I don't have as much time to absorb it. But as a kid, if it was in school, I just didn't pay attention. I couldn't. Now, I'm like, we sit in bed at night and Nicole's playing her game. I'm like reading like historical like things, like the History Channel, and it's true. I think every man, like, as you begin to enter the second half of your life, you go from being like, I don't give a shit, to being like fascinated with all aspects of history. I've seen this so many times. And now that it's happening to me, I'm like, holy shit, it does. Like, now I find like everything historical fascinating. It's like I don't know, it's like a rite of passage to becoming an older male. You know? I don't know. I don't know. I swear that's a thing, though. Like, you don't give a shit when you're 20. But then you're like 35 and you're like, I saw that thing on the Vatican last night. Very interesting stuff. And you don't even know why. I don't know. It's just me. Anyway, that is our trivia segment, brought to you by Perdomo Cigars. That's right, featuring our 2024 Cigar of the Year, the Perdomo 30th Anniversary Sun-Grown Epicure. Perdomo Cigars, quality, tradition, and excellence. There was also some news this week because, as I was saying, there's been some more things rolling out. Our news once again brought to you by Micallef Cigars, featuring the new color series, black, blue, red, purple, and now the green, which is officially shipping. If you didn't know, now you know. You probably read it on Cigar Coop first. I know that's usually where they like to break their information. So that's a little bit of news for you. But there actually was a couple of things. First of all, Intertabac is coming up, which, if you don't know about Intertabac is more or less the European equivalent of like the PCA show. Which is September 15th through the 18th or something like that. It's like middle of September. It's in Dortmund, Germany. And we have not been to that show. I don't even think Coop's been. Coop was going to go last year, I think, and then he couldn't, something like that. But I know Coop's trying to go there. But it's a little different. I mean, from what I know about it, it's a little different. But anyway, point being, there's a couple of announcements that have been made the last week or so, and people announcing what they're bringing to Intertabac. So, which sometimes it's, for European markets or whatever, which makes sense. Other times there's global releases that are debuted at Intertabac that we will see here. So, I know there was a few, and I've been working on getting caught up on the news. But I know there's been some stuff with that. La Flor Dominicana has announced that they have shipped the reimagined Suave, which is on its way out to stores. Which, Pat, have you guys seen that at Twins yet?
Not yet, no.
No. Okay. Yeah, it'll probably hit you guys soon. Sorry, I thought I had a little something in my throat there. Blackworks Studio has announced the release of Tigersaurus, handcrafted at Fabrica Oveja Negra in Esteli, Nicaragua, which will be hitting stores. The TPE and Premium Cigar Association will partner to elevate industry advocacy and education at TPE 2026. I thought this was interesting when I saw it, because they've kind of been like a little competitive, especially in the last few years. With certain folks not being at PCA but being at TPE and shit like that, and the scheduling and moving them. I always kind of thought they were very separated, but they're joining forces now. So that's interesting. I don't know if you saw that or anything about that or read anything about that, Pat, but and I'm really not going to get into the whole thing here, but I just, on the surface, I thought that was interesting. The TPE and PCA kind of getting together. Oh, wow. Adventura has unveiled its Renegade exclusive Queen's Pearls Diadema for Renegade Cigars in Richardson, Texas. Queen's Pearls, I know, I think Coop gave that cigar of the year a couple years ago, didn't he? I want to say he did.
Yeah, he might have.
I think he
might have talked about that cigar before.
Yeah, I think that was one of his cigar of the years recently. Which actually, I think it was in the Lancero, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
There's a special name for it.
Yeah.
It's
Which is funny because last time we did Spare Notes, Coop was like, everybody, thinks I hate Lanceros, but forget, you guys forget, I've given 2 Lanceros cigar of the year. Thought that was funny, I had to point it out. So there's a couple of things coming out. You'll probably see some inter-tobacco news as well, floating around on the interwebs, but I don't think really in the way that PCA announcements and news and coverage kind of comes out. So it's a very different style show, different format, it's a little bit more laid back, and from what I've been told, so it's not quite like wow and big and here it is like PCA. It's a little bit more casual, but it's it's still a big show. But anyway, that was our news for the week. A quick run of the highlights. Anyway, there was another thing I was going to say. Oh yeah, we have a not tonight, but we do have another giveaway for our Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust giveaway that I believe we are going to do next week, towards the end of the show, and we'll have another box of DTT and a DTT mug to give away. So definitely tune in for that, but also tune in because we have Pedro Gomez from Drew Estate coming on the show. No Spare Notes this week. I'm pretty sure we're going to do Spare Notes next weekend. So next Saturday night, we will all be back once again. The 3 of us. Maybe I'll convince Nicole to come down. I don't know. See if I'm lucky. Who knows? But yeah, we do have a pretty exciting few months coming up. There's definitely going to be a lot to cover. We have a good amount of guests that are going to be coming on the show. And then, of course, we get into the holidays and the end of the year stuff. So there's a lot going on. It's going to be a little bit more busy, and it'll be a good time. So, but anyway, that's going to be our show for tonight, guys. Thank you for being here with us. Thanks for watching and listening. As always, we really appreciate it. Thank you to all of our partners and all the friends of ours that help make this show happen. And as always, head to SmokinTabacco.com for more news, reviews, and updates from the cigar industry. We'll see you next week with Pedro Gomez. Take care.